Welcome to this video where I will demonstrate how to randomize a facade. And if we take a look at this facade, it is a facade which is built upon curtain panels, where I have two different panels I want to randomize in the facade. So I'll go to Dynamo. Inside Dynamo we need to collect the elements as the first thing. Before I start doing that, I will remember to turn off this automatic, and it is outside the screen, but I will choose manual so I don't fill up the memory with unwanted processes being run while I'm building the graph. So be careful about this. Turn this into manual when you build a graph, and then if it is working later on, you could try using automatic. For start, manual. I'm going to collect the types, the family types inside the model. So I'll go to select in Revit here, and I will select elements which is family types. And I know that they are called sunshade, and I have a lot of those sunshade panels here, but I will go for this one, small and large. Start with the small one. And then copy this one, so mark it, control and push or pull, and then you will get a copy. I will go for the other one, so sunshade, and this will be the large one. So now I have my two types. So like this. I'm going to collect those, but before I do that, I will put them in a common list. So let me go for a list, create, and this will be the top one. And I go to hover this little plus sign, push it, and then I will get the possibility to put in two items. So item 0 and item 1. Okay, now I need to have all the elements, and let me go back here to the selection and show you that you have all elements of type and you have all elements of family type. Since this is family types, we need to collect them as that. So this would be all family types. Let's try to see what we got. So watch and press run. As you can see now, I got 267 curtain panels. And I got them in two lists. So the 0 lists would be the panels which are small, and the 1 list would be those which are large. So item 0, item 1, 0 and 1, and I have some kind of number of each of them. I'm now going to count those elements, and I could try to add a count. Let's try to see how that looks. See. So I got a counter here, and I put in the count here, and I'll go for run. What it gives me now is actually 2, because it gives me the first 2 elements it sees, and that's 2, so perfectly all right, that's 2. However, if I try to put on lacing and say that I want to have the longest lacing, then it'll run it again, and then it will actually give me 2 as the same number, but it will also give me the number inside each of the lists. So now I know I have 131 of the small panels, and I have 136 by this last one. So this is not the way I could get the number. So what could I do instead? Well, let me bring that back to auto, and then try to put in a list flatten. So I go to flatten, and I got it here. And here you can see you have you can add the list, and you have an amplitude. The default value is take whatever it is and put it into one list, and this is actually what I need. So let's try to run this. So now I have a single list with all the elements, so they are not longer in 2 lists, they are in 1 list. So all the elements connected or collected as one. So I now have those 267. Okay, let me move that a bit. Now where I have counted them, I need to use them for something. And what I actually wanted to is have a list where I can randomize over those two elements. So let me try to see if I have some thing called math random. And it brings me up a list or a random function here, which is the built-in one with a seed, and I have one here without a seed. Let's take the simple one and just have this one. I will also add this one from the orchid package, so you can see the difference. Let's add a watch node. So one watch node. I'll delete this one. Control and have another copy and add those two here, and then move it and do it like this. As you can see, they will both give some kind of random number which is inside a range. So what is a range? Well, the range in the default one is between 0 and 1. This one will have a default range between 0 and x. And this is why it can do something more than the built-in one. It can add a range here. The default range is 1, meaning those two does exactly the same now. But if I had more than 2 elements here, if I had a third element, then I would not be able to use this one. Then I should use something here with a range where I could put in a range. So let's try to see here, because we cannot use those two numbers. I need something telling me 0 and 1. So let's go for a math round. And I'll take this one. Let's add this to here and go up here. And let's take a copy of this one. And it's difficult. Move it like this. And then run again. See, now I got 0 and 1, 0 and 1. And it is actually using the exact same mathematical function. So is it random? Well, to some extent it is, but it's a mathematical algorithm and it is the exact same algorithm which is used. But if I try now to put in a 2, this will give me the values from 0, 1 and 2. So this would be the range. And run again. Then I have 1s, 2s and 0s. So now I have actually 3 numbers inside here. So this is where this one is doing something else than this one. And this one is going to be used if you have more than 2 elements. In this basic example here, we don't have more than 2, but we could let it stay here. I remove this one because it's not to be used now. Okay. So now I have a number, then I need to be able to take those elements again. So I'll just bring this one also down, and now I'll have something where I could take something by an index. So item get item by index. So now I got the two which can do more or less the same. This one is, however, built on recursive functions, so meaning you can see it goes for ND lists. That's not what we want. We want this one which is a simpler one, because it is a simple list we have. Be careful to use the right nodes. So let's try to put in the index here and then put in the list. So where do I have a list which can say 0 and 1? Well, I have it here. So I put that in here, and let's move it to this one and press run once more. And now you can see the 0 and 1s are being changed into panels which are small and large. This one would give me exact the same. So if I run this, it will give me 0 and large also. For this simple case, I will continue using this for this purpose here. Now I want to bring these elements back into the model, and I therefore need a set type. And I have a set type here, again from the orchid package. And here, this is family types, as you can see. So I'll put in the family type here, and where do I have the elements? Well, I need to do it by all elements, but I need to do it where I have them collected somehow. And here they are collected by the list flatten. So I could move this up again. Put this over here. I don't need this anymore, so I delete it. And put this in here. Let us try to see what the graph is doing. So I will take this and make it a bit smaller. I will go into this and just move it a bit here. And now I'll press run. So now it changed some of the elements. I can press once more so you can see it. And it now changes to another randomizing. So this is actually the end result, what I want to do. So let me just bring this back. So the final thing needed here would be to clean up. I know I'm going to use this a bit later, so I will keep that, but the watch node could go out, and this one is essentially the thing I need here.